Greetings, I'm Michael Quinn Patton. 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to conduct a research methods seminar for doctoral students. One of the participants was working on a PhD in art therapy, and she submitted her seminar report in the form of watercolor paintings. I recently came across that file and contacted the artist, Barbara Fish, to ask her permission to share those evocative and reflective paintings with the world. And that's what this video does. She wrote at the time, "I can see that I used to think of research and evaluation as the enemy of art. I believe that those art therapists who evaluate images use the tools of art therapy in an anemic way, somewhat like looking for vitality through autopsy. Other fields have developed tools to dissect images and evaluate the components. I've always felt protective of the images, fending off the evaluator's knife. I believe it was not my fear of the material that held me from research, but my distrust of research's intent. I felt the need to protect those in my care and their art from the evaluator's eye. Most of all, I held back the evaluator in me. I have made a major paradigm shift. Now I see looking at the world with a researcher's eye can be consistent with making art. Understanding patterns doesn't mean dissection. Methodology can be a nest to hold images as I endeavor to understand them more fully. I won't be pulling them apart to analyze, but wrapping them in the stories of their process. Here's an example. In this first image, Barbara wrote, "This represents me flying in the center of a spiral of light. I have momentum and direction now." She titled this painting, "Finding Direction." The message of the image is about clarity. This image encourages me to paint again and let go. She describes her dialogue with the image as follows, quote, "I'm flying again, but something is wrong. I'm still holding back. I feel hesitant. Finish this painting if you like, but scribble to start the next one. I need to be free to explore, and you are holding me back with your dry brush and need to control. Let me go. Let the water carry the color and me along with it. I'm ready if you are." Close quote. This next image she titled "Letting Go" and wrote, quote, "Now I understand that there is structure to inductive research as there is in art. This last image represents the beginning of my inquiry." So let me introduce you to Barbara Fish today and her important book on art-based supervision. In what follows, I'll present the watercolor paintings that Barbara did for the research seminar and some other paintings. In some cases, I've offered both her title for the painting and a title that the painting evoked for me. And as I go through these, you may want to stop and savor them, stop the video and have a deeper look at each of the paintings and see what they evoke for you. Here are the watercolors of Barbara Fish on her journey into research.
So this is an image. This is an image that I did when I was making a decision to move from Chicago to California to take care of my mother. And I was pretty clear that I was going to make the decision to go, but I was ambivalent about what it would mean. In this image, I began by working with a scribble on wet watercolor paper, and the image came to the surface. And I have birds in my images often, and they're often guides and advisors. So here I am writing on my advisor's back into what's next for me, but I have a mask on, which kind of indicates my ambivalence and my lack of clarity about what's to come. I had no idea we'd be wearing masks all the time now. So this is the image. And I wanted to share this with you because this is an image, another image about my ambivalence and about like trying to find my path and the light and how you can move into this. And in this image, I would have a conversation with both of the birds and see what their agenda is, like, where are you carrying me? And why am I reaching for the light that the other bird is holding? And then I would have a conversation with myself. Like, how do I feel about this? Where do I want to be? And what's happening in this image? So I would sit with it and wonder into it and then engage it in a dialogue in active imagination. Now, not everybody uses active imagination that's an art therapist. I just find it a really wonderful, enchanting way to engage images that gives me a lot of information about what my deeper knowing is. Now, I engage in something that I call response art, which is art made to contain, explore, or express experience. I've studied response art extensively. It was the focus of my doctoral program. And many art therapists make response art. It's a way of gaining understanding about the work that you're doing in a way that clarifies your responses to the people that you're working with. It keeps you from reacting and slows you down and lets you delve into the image itself.
Thank you, Barbara, for your art, for sharing your insights about the relationship between research evaluation and art. Barbara's website is listed here, where she explores in greater depth the relationship between art and making sense of the world.